then sit up tall, toe heel those feet back in, right? And I forgot to set my timer, so I'm going to do that here. And let's go. All right, so first thing we're going to do, just work on strengthening those legs, is we're going to grab a block, and again, feel free to grab a tissue box here. Stick it right in between those knees. All right, now wiggle out your toes for a moment, and I want you to feel your heels anchoring into that floor. Now, we're going to be doing stand-up sit-downs. Feel free to use your hands on that chair seat if that gives you a little bit more support, right? And again, feel free to skip this if it doesn't feel safe to you. All right, so that's the biggest thing, is you want to feel safe doing these. If it doesn't feel safe, give yourself permission to skip it, and we'll add in some other things in a little bit. Now the other thing is you can stay right in your seat. You don't have to lift out. So I'm going to walk you through that right now. So if you take a nice inhale, as we exhale, we're going to squeeze the knees, we're going to press down through the heels and wiggle the toes. Now if you just do that, that's a great way to strengthen those quadriceps, right? You're strengthening those muscles too, the soft tissue around those knees. And we're going to relax, all right? Now we're going to start adding some stuff together. So we're going to take a nice inhale. Exhale out, squeeze the knees, press down through the heels, wiggle the toes. Right? And then we're going to release. Let's do that again. Exhale, squeeze the knees, press down through the heels, wiggle your toes. Great job. Now, we're going to take a nice inhale. We're going to add that together with a stand up. Now, again, if you don't feel safe, stay in your seat and just squeeze, right? Inhale, breathe. Exhale, squeeze the knees, press down through the heels. Use your hands here if you want, or lift up. You can always use your arms too to come on down and lower back down. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze the knees, press down through the heels, lift up. Good, and reach down. Good, let's do it again. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze the knees, press down through the heels, lift up. Excellent. Now we're going to come down to a hover. We're squeezing the knees, we're pressing down through the heels. You can see my toes wiggling, right? The waist back in the heels. We're going to pulse at 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on down. Now, if you stayed in your seat, when we're pulsing, you can squeeze, 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 and pulse, right? You can also grab that chair and maybe lift the knees up to you and do these instead. Working on that core, right? So let's do that again. Inhale, breathe. Big sigh out. Give that body the oxygen it craves. Good. Now, as we exhale, we're going to squeeze the knees, press down through the heels, lift on up. Good, and lower down. Good. Inhale, breathe. Squeeze the knees, press down through the heels, lift up. Good, and breathe, lower down. Inhale. Squeeze the knees, press down through the heels, lift up. Inhale. Good, release. Squeeze the knees, press down through the heels, lift up. Good, come to a pulse. We're hovering right over that chair. Pulse at 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press down through the heels, lift up. Great job. All right. Feel free to keep that block right between the knees. That's going to help us engage. We want to have that inner rotation of those thighs as you press your heels down into the floor and wiggle out your toes. So again, even in standing position, the weight is back in your heels. Let's loop the shoulders back into their pockets, draw that skull back. Right arm reaches overhead, little hinge to the left. Now as we press down through our inside edges of our feet, we're going to lift that gaze and breathe. Left hand can stay right at the thigh or at the hip, and you can even kick your hips over. Good. Now, as we breathe, we're unlocking that tension through that right side body. Good. Bring that right arm across. Give it a good shrug. All right. Right hand to the hip or the thigh. Left arm reaches up. Hinge to the other side. Great job. Beautiful breath. Good. Keep pressing through the inside edges of your feet. Left hand sweeps across the sky. And give those shoulders a nice shrug. All right, let's come back to that seat. All right, sit on down. work those legs a little bit. So let's get the blood pumping just a little bit more into that space. I know Linda and Ike love this one, so I'm doing this for you guys. I hope you see it. I hope you guys are back from Florida. I miss you all, and I look forward to seeing you soon. So we're going to pull those elbows in, and we're just going to start jogging. All right, lifting those knees. You can get those arms pumping with it. All right, as we pump those knees, lifting, we're going to start drumming the drums. All right, and then we're going to drum overhead, and we're going to drum down. All right, and drum overhead, and drum down, and drum overhead, and drum down. You're asking me, why are we doing this? Drum overhead, and drum down. Right, drum overhead, and drum down. One more time, drum overhead, and drum down. Just take those shoulders and loop them back and down. Well, the reason why I do that, I like to do it, is it gets the blood flowing. When we increase that heart rate, we just feel better. So it's a safe and easy way to get that heart rate going a little bit and to feel a little bit more powerful, right? A little stronger, a little bit more relaxed. We're going to take those knees, we're going to swivel in the chair to the right, hands interlaced, rest on that right knee, slide that left leg back, sit up tall, left hip points down, right? Take a gorgeous breath here. Exhale it out. Both arms are reached overhead. Lift that gaze. Good. Shake out that right hand. Bring it to the back of the chair. Shake out that left hand. Bring it to that right knee. Little twist. Good. Beautiful breath. Right, as we breathe and we sit up a little taller, you're going to feel that stretch moving right up that right side body. Good. Let's release. Slide that left leg forward. Sweep it over to the other side. Hands interlace on that left knee. Right leg slides back. Point that right hip down. Beautiful breath. Exhale it out. Good. Keep breathing. Both arms reach overhead. Good. Hold that beach ball. Feel those muscles cling to the arms. Good. Shake out that right hand. Bring it to that left knee. Shake out that left hand. Bring it to the back of the chair. Twist left. Beautiful breath. Good. Let's release that twist. Slide that right leg forward. Come back to center. All right. So here we go. We're going to strengthen those legs just a little bit more. Just what you wanted to hear. All right. So we're going to do those ABCs on the floor. Left foot's going to stay stable. You're going to anchor that left foot into the floor. You can rest those hands on that left knee. Your right leg is going to be your drawing utensil. So you're going to draw that right foot up and bring it down, making a big A, right? Make sure you cross it. B and a C. D, E, F, big G, H, I, J, make sure you put that hat on there, K, L, M, N, big O, make sure it's a big O, and P, right? Now if you want to stop at any time, feel free. There's that Q, R, we're almost there. S, make it a big snake, right? T, I forgot my alphabet. U, and V, we're almost there, ready? W, X, Y, and Z. Great job, and hopefully that leg feels a little tired. Now let's do the other side. Hands interlaced, press down on that right foot, that's going to anchor us. Left foot draws the A. B, C. Now the wider you make your letters, D, obviously the more you're working those muscles. F, big G, H, like J, top hat, K, L, M, N, big O, P, Q, he's got a tail, R, woo, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and a big Z, friends. We're done. Well done. Hopefully you feel those legs. They're a little tired. Let's give them a good stretch now. Pointing the knees to the right, hands interlace, step that left foot back, lift that gaze, right? Walk, or excuse me, I should say, lean back into the posture. Open up that heart, lift the gaze. Great job. One more breath. Now what we're going to do is, if you have a block or your tissue box handy, you can bring it up to that high end, the second height, or that lowest height, and drop your knee to it. All right? Now, you don't have to use the block. What we want to do is, you're going to notice, right, from our toe being tucked under, right, we're going to flatten, we're going to drop the face of the foot into the floor. Now what that does, when we lean back, it's going to open up this left quadricep a little bit more, right? Press through that right foot. That's going to hold you steady. Make sure your right glute is right on that chair. You can even hold the back edge of that chair back, right? We sit up tall, we're going to breathe. Exhale it out. One more. All right, and release. Slide that left leg forward, come back to center. All right, toe heel those feet back out. Hands on knees, press those knees back, press those heels down into the floor. Engage those inner thighs. Hinge forward, press the knees back, reach through that crown. Now take that right shoulder, maybe give it a good shrug. Drop that right shoulder towards your left heel or your left knee. Now breathe right into this back right flank. Okay, bring it back to center, hinge the other side. Left shoulder to right knee or right heel. Press that left hand against that left knee, pushing the body away, or excuse me, pushing that left knee away from the body. Right, breathing into this left side flank. And come back to center, reach to that crown, rise on up, toe heel those feet together. Swivel all the way to the left. Slide that right leg back, sit up tall, beautiful breath. Exhale it out. Good, another breath here. Arms reach overhead, we lean back, right? If you want, bring those arms back. All right, we're gonna point this right toe down now, face of the foot. Have that block handy. Press that knee into that block, lifting that floor to your knee if you like. All right, we're gonna lean back into the posture. Beautiful breath. Maybe that left hand holds the chair back. And let's release, slide that right leg forward. All right, one more stretch for those legs, right? Push those blocks right out of the way. Hands on that chair, we're at the front edge. Hands on the chair so you don't accidentally slip off. We're gonna slide, we're gonna lean back, so you're slouching back like you're on your couch. You're gonna toe heel those feet out, right? And then you're gonna bring the knees in. Press down through the outside edge of your feet. Draw the knees in. Hopefully you feel that stretch on the outside of the hips, right? And on the outside of those knees. Beautiful breath. I know it's not a very attractive position, but it does work. Good. One more breath. And let's release those knees. Toe heel those feet back in. All right, sit up tall and sit back deep in your chair. All right, we're going to move in to a little bit of a meditation for the next few minutes. Feel free to grab a block here, place it underneath your feet, grab a pillow. A pillow works just as well. As we press those feet into the floor and lean on back, we're going to loop the shoulders back and down. And let's just take a beautiful breath here. Let that belly fully expand. And then a big sigh out. Good. One more breath, just like that. And hopefully, if you've done all 3 modules today, you can feel your body relax a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't feel as tense or anxious as you may have felt in the beginning of class. I know I feel more relaxed. Maybe it's just the relief of having videotaped 3 classes today, and hopefully I'm praying that they upload. So we'll see about that. But let's breathe. All right. Now draw your attention back to the breath. Maybe breathing in, I am. Exhaling here. So as you continue to breathe, I subscribe to an online contemplative, the Center for Contemplation. I think it's called Center of Action and Contemplation. I wanted to read it to you today because it sums up how I've been feeling about what we're going through. It's written by Richard Rohr, and again, it's from the Center for Action and Contemplation. And it's called Love Alone Overcomes Fear. So friends, maybe perhaps close your eyes and breathe. Feel the sensation of the floor underneath your feet, the heaviness of your body in your chair. And I hope this reading just strikes a chord with something within you. Maybe there's a word or just a phrase, or maybe there's an image that's invoked by the reading that just kind of tweaks your imagination, and you can just rest in it for a while today. Even after the video is finished, maybe you come back to your seat and you just give yourself some time, maybe grab a cup of coffee or a mug of cocoa or a tea, and just rest with it. And notice what bubbles up for you. It doesn't have to be anything, but just kind of check in and see if there's something that bubbles up. All right. So again, love overcomes fear. It is shocking to think how much the world has changed in such a brief time. Each of us has had our lives and our communities disrupted. Of course, I am here in this with you. I feel that I am in no position to tell you how you feel or think, but there are a few things that come to mind that I will share. A few days ago, I was encouraged by the Franciscans and by the leadership team here to self-quarantine. So I've been in my little hermitage for 3 to 4 days. I've had years of practice, literally, on how to do what we are calling social distancing. I have a nice, large backyard behind me where there are 4 huge, beautiful cottonwood trees. And so I walk my dog, Opie, every few hours. Right now, I'm trying to take in psychologically, spiritually, and personally, what is God trying to say? When I use that phrase, I am not saying that God causes suffering to teach us good things. I love that part. But God does use everything. And if God wanted us to experience global solidarity, I can't think of a better way. We all have access to this suffering. and it bypasses race, gender, religion, and nation. We are in the midst of a highly teachable moment. There's no doubt that this period will be referred to for the rest of our lifetimes. We have a chance to go deep and to go broad. I like that one too. Globally, we're in this together. Depth is being forced on us by great suffering, which I like to say always leads to great love. But for God to reach us, we have to allow suffering to wound us. Now is no time for an academic solidarity with the world. Real solidarity needs to be felt and suffered. That's the real meaning of the word suffer, to allow someone else's pain to influence us in a real way. We need to move beyond our own spirit, our own personal feelings, and take in the whole. This, I must say, is one of the gifts of television. We can turn it on and we can see how people in countries other than our own are hurting. What is going to happen to those lives in isolated places or for those who don't have health care? Imagine the fragility of the most marginalized, of people in prisons, the homeless, or even the people performing necessary services, such as ambulance drivers, nurses, doctors, risking their lives to keep society together. Our feelings of urgency and devastation are not exaggeration. They are responding to the real human situation. We are not pushing the panic button. We are the panic button. And we have to allow these feelings. We have to be willing to risk, willing to have courage to feel. And invite God's presence into the midst of it. To pause, to breathe, to create that space for God's presence to hold and sustain us in this time of collective prayer and lament. I hope this experience will force our attention outwards to the suffering of the most vulnerable. Love always means going beyond yourself to otherness. That's good, isn't it? Let me repeat that. Love always means going beyond yourself to otherness. It takes two. There has to be the lover and the beloved. We must be stretched to an encounter with otherness. Only then do we know it's love. This is what we call the subject-subject relationship. Love alone overcomes fear and is the true foundation that lasts. 1 Corinthians 13:13. Love alone overcomes fear and is the true foundation that lasts. Friends, I miss you. I wish you the best. If you can take a moment just to sit up tall, maybe wiggle those fingers and toes. Breathe in a nice big breath. Let's sweep those arms overhead. Lift the gaze past the fingertips. Perhaps offer up your gratitudes for this day. I know the sun isn't as shiny today, but we can still feel that light on our skin. Right? Let's draw those palms together, hands to heart center. And as God has shown and loved us, let us love one another. Friends, I thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. The light in me honors and bows to the light in you. May His love ring through your heart, mind, and body. Namaste.